Hello there, I'm Peggy from Teacher Friend, and this is my postpartum depression story. I want to first apologize if you hear a cricket in this video. Half of my house is super hot because one of our air conditioners went out, and there's apparently a cricket here, and my kids are sleeping in the other section, so here it is. So I apologize if you hear a cricket. Okay, so in today's video, I want to share with you my postpartum depression story. And the reason I want to share that with you is because I think it's really important to normalize postpartum depression, because that was part of what made postpartum depression so hard for me. Was I didn't know anybody else that had it. I didn't know any of their stories. I didn't have anyone to reach out to. And basically what I knew about it was actually false information. You know, I just had heard of moms getting postpartum depression and, you know, doing things that they shouldn't, that are really sad, and I thought that's what that was. And so I really denied in my head that I had it, because I was like, I can't have that for sure, like that's not what this is. Like I love my kids so much, I definitely don't want to hurt her, so that's not what this is. And you know, as it turns out, that's actually something called postpartum psychosis, which I didn't know. And so if I had known that, that would have helped me out a lot. It would have saved me a lot of hurt. After I had postpartum depression, I made it my mission to help as many people as I can with postpartum depression. And so that's the reason for this video. I am hoping that if I share my story, like other women shared their stories with me and helped me, that I can help you. The first thing that I want to share with you guys is I reached out to the lady at the hospital that I gave birth at that helps me with my postpartum depression, and her name is Michelle, and she's a wonderful person and I love her. And I asked her, like, I told her I wanted to make this video, and I said, what should I say? She said, first of all, make sure to say that it is not your fault. Let me say that again. It is not your fault if you have postpartum depression. You didn't do anything wrong. Your hormones are doing something to your body, and it's not your fault. You did nothing. So please hear me when I say that, because that can be one of the hardest things about this, is that you feel like you did something wrong. Your baby deserves better because you, for example, like I wanted to run away. I knew that I loved my baby as much as I possibly could, but I wanted to run away. Ooh, I might cry a little when I think about that, because it makes me so sad to think that I felt that way. But I did. And that wasn't my fault, and it's not your fault if you feel like you want to run away, if you feel like your kid deserves better, any of those things, it's not your fault. You are not alone. A lot of people have this, and nobody is going to judge you for it. Nobody is going to think that you did anything wrong. And if they do, well, they are wrong, not you. So get help. Talk to your OBGYN, talk to your partner, talk to whoever you can, and get some help. You deserve better. You deserve help. Okay, so let me quick tell you a little bit about my daughter's birth and my story. And hopefully, if you are suffering from postpartum depression, or you're worried you will, or whatever, this will connect with you and it will maybe help you. So I had my first daughter via C-section, which I gotta do a video about that because my C-section story is actually hilarious. It's one of my favorite stories to tell. But other than I just had major surgery, I was on top of the world. I was so excited to be a mom. I loved my daughter so much. I aced my hospital test on being sad, having postpartum depression, and everything in the world was awesome, other than being exhausted and just having major surgery, which that's very hard. But other than that, I was on top of the world. But at some point, I started to feel hormonal and sad. And it wasn't all of the time, which was part of the reason that I felt like maybe I didn't have postpartum depression. Maybe it was just hormones. Because I was like, oh, I've heard of people having baby blues, just being hormonal. That's probably what it is. That's probably what it is. And I just convinced myself of that because of the reason I shared with you before, that I didn't want to admit that I had postpartum depression. And then it just went on for a lot longer than I thought it should, but I was just like, well, I guess that's just how it is. And I had some complications from my C-section, and things were just harder as far as that goes, so I just blamed it on that. Again, I was convincing myself that I was okay when I wasn't. And like I said, I didn't have anybody to talk to, so maybe if I had, they would have said, hey, this isn't quite how it should go, and you should maybe talk to a doctor about this, but I didn't. And so I just would randomly feel very sad, and like I wanted to run away. But at the same time, that like I love my daughter more than anything in the whole entire world. Which I know those two things sound conflicting. I can't explain it, but that's how it was. I was also, feeling more irritable. I probably wasn't as pleasant to be around. I was just having a really hard time. I had to go to the doctor almost every week because of the complications I had from my C-section. And I was like trying to hint to the OBGYN that I wasn't okay. Well, it wasn't the OBGYN, the nurses, that I wasn't okay. But I don't really know how they didn't know, because I literally said that I wasn't okay. I did switch OBs after that. It was, like I said, it wasn't the OB, it was the nurse practitioners that I didn't feel comfortable with, and don't feel like I got the best treatment. They really could have saved me a lot of heartache if they would have dug a little deeper. Eventually, I went in for my 6-week appointment, and that's when they did that postpartum depression screening that they do, and I answered honestly, and found out that I do have that, and that I should get some medicine, which I didn't really want to take medicine because I was trying to breastfeed. It was very hard, but I was trying to breastfeed, and I didn't want to like give any of those like chemicals or whatever to my daughter. But on the other hand, I really felt like I needed it, and I thought that if I was in a better place, that would be what was best for my daughter. And so luckily, I was right about that, and I tried it, and I felt better. What I wish I would have done is talk to the nurse practitioner or OBGYN right away. I wish that I would have known somebody who had it and had reached out to me and said, hey, I had postpartum depression. If you think you might have this, contact me and we can talk. I am here for you. And so that's what I often try and do. People that I haven't talked to in a decade, if I see they've had a baby on Facebook, you know, somebody I've known from college, or, you know, somebody that I know now, I message them and I say, hey, I hope you're doing okay. I just want to let you know that I have postpartum depression, and I'm here for you if you need anybody to talk to. Sorry if this is weird. Because they probably do think it's weird, but I don't care. I don't care. Because if it helps one person to not go through what I went through, then it's worth it. I don't care if they think I'm weird. I guess what I'm saying is that we as a society need to normalize postpartum depression and say, hey, this is something that can happen, and if it does, it's not your fault. And if it does happen, get some help for it. If you are having heart trouble or a hurt knee or whatever, you'd get help for that, right? Why would you not get help for postpartum depression? Same thing. In conclusion, if you have postpartum depression or you think you might, talk to somebody. Postpartum depression is not your fault, and the people in your life want to help you. So please get some help. If you like this video, please make sure to check out my other videos. I typically do content about homeschooling or teaching your kids various things. I'll be really appreciative if you would like this video and subscribe. And I hope that you have a wonderful day.